this is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at the Nokia Lumia 925 available on T-Mobile in the United States. Finally, a high-end Windows phone available on T-Mobile. This is very nice and in a lot of ways quite similar to the Nokia Lumia 920 in terms of its specs, but it's slimmed down, it's got a little metal edging, and we're going to look at it now. So this is the Nokia Lumia 925 available now on T-Mobile, and you might say this is the apex of Lumia design, though it moves a little bit away from the unique unibody polycarbonate colorful look. They've got a little more sophisticated here. As you can see, we have the aluminum edging here, the metal edges. Looks very nice. Interesting little visual breaks right here. This also serves as the antenna, by the way, around the device. So yeah, for those who like metal, which is just about everybody these days, that's certainly an attractive looking thing. Up front view, it looks like your basic Windows phone, doesn't it? Usual live tile UI. But take a look at the back. That's what's pretty neat looking. Here you get that matte polycarbonate finish that looks like nothing else. It's just still distinctive Nokia. Even though you won't be able to get this in those crazy bright colors like you could with the Lumia 920, you got your choice of black, white, or gray here. I think the gray looks actually pretty good too. Normally I would think that's kind of boring, but I think it's a very modern and sophisticated looking phone. And you know, it's not that expensive. You look at a phone like this and you think, okay, that's going to be one of those flagship phones. It's going to cost me $200 on contract. Not that T-Mobile has exactly what you call contracts anymore, but still the pricing is not bad. You can get it for $0 down on T-Mobile with $20 monthly payments for 24 months. I feel like I'm describing the home shopping network here. Or you can just buy it outright for $480. So it is less money by $50 to $100 in some of the flagship phones. What you get is Nokia's excellent 8.7 megapixel camera on the back that we know and love from other recent Lumia models on the high-end Carl Zeiss lens right here. Very bright flash accompanying it. The speaker is down here, reasonably loud. Have a front video chat camera as well above the display right there, and that's a 4.5-inch AMOLED ClearBlack display. That's what Nokia has used on most of their smartphones, except for the Lumia 920, which was an IPS display. No complaints about the AMOLED. It still has the outdoor viewable option where it gets real bright for outdoors. It also has the works with gloves feature, so it can be hypersensitive. All in all, nice display. No visible color cast. Bright, rich colors. Nice display. Resolution is 1280 by 768. That's currently the top of the line for Windows phones in terms of the resolution that they support. And here we have our capacitive buttons, and you can't really see it right now, but they actually backlight in a kind of lemon yellow color instead of just being straight white, which is different, nice looking. I do like that they're actually visible as well, even when the backlighting is off, so you can see them. Up here we have our 3.5 millimeter audio jack. Micro USB port right there, and this is our micro SIM card slot. It comes with a little pokey tool, and poke it right there, makes the tray come out. It does not come out all the way. It comes out just enough for you to put the SIM card in or take it out. On the side we have, just like all the other Lumias, here's our volume rocker right here. This is our power sleep button and the dedicated camera button. The dedicated camera button is a Windows Phone requirement. Nothing on the bottom, nothing on that side, so pretty clean design overall. Inside, you're looking at the usual Windows Phone 8 release. We've got Amber on here, so it has the latest Nokia software, including their custom camera applications. We'll show you in a little bit. 1.5 gigahertz Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 dual-core CPU. That's currently, again, the top-of-the-line CPU you're going to find in a Windows 8 phone. And it is a little bit more responsive than the 1.4 gigahertz Snapdragons that we've reviewed lately, too. So no complaints at all about the speed here. This is a fast, responsive phone. It plays games fluently. Definitely a good experience there. It has a gig of RAM and it has 16 gigs of internal storage. That might be a little bit of a hurt because there's no expandable storage here. So for those of you who like to keep lots and lots of media actually on the device and not streaming from the cloud, keep that in mind. This does have T-Mobile's 4G LTE service, and we do have that service available in Dallas. Right now we have our Wi-Fi turned on, so we're not seeing an indicator, but we can go quickly to settings and turn Wi-Fi off, and we'll get our 4G LTE indicator. In fact, we'll do that so we can run a speed test. And it's the usual interface that we have here for settings on Windows Phone 8. Very easy operating system to use when you're looking at your live tiles. If you want to see all your applications, as you can see, I just swipe to the side. Here's everything we have installed. And while we're talking about that, you can see we have all of Nokia's applications preloaded on the phone. Nokia's Here Drive Plus, so you get spoken directions, maps, transit maps and directions too. And Nokia Music, which I like a lot. It's a streaming music service, and you can get some free playlists going and enjoy some tunes on the go. And then there's various Nokia camera applications and a couple of filters that are on there for the camera. We'll still talk about that later. Alright, so now we have our 4G LTE active right here, and we're going to run a speed test to see what our speeds are like. And this is Ookla's speedtest.net app, the same thing we use on Android and iOS. That's a nice speed. That's competing well with AT&T, who's generally speaking the fastest LTE provider in the Dallas area for us. T-Mobile does cap the upload speeds a bit because more people care about download speeds. So we're going to see a lower number there. So certainly one of the best results that we have seen so far. And you can see some of the other results we got. Some of them were a bit lower than that, but still all quite good. Some of our upload speeds were curiously poor, so let's run that one more time and see how it goes. And we're running the test again to see how we do a second time around here. And still awesome download speeds. And upload was looking good, but it looks like it gets a little hiccup somewhere along the way. That's a little bit odd. And actually, use of the phone, we haven't had any problems so far, but generally speaking, most of us are downloading, be it web pages, email, applications, that kind of thing. So a little bit odd there. It seems like it gets some hiccups sometimes in the upload part of our test. Again, I'm not really too worried about it because in use of the phone, we haven't had any issues so far. The phone has dual band Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 3.0, a GPS that works with the Nokia Drive and Here maps as well as Bing, and it has NFC. Standard for Windows Phone is the Office Mobile Suite and the mobile version of Internet Explorer IE10 Mobile, which does a pretty competent job of loading web pages, and we'll take a look at that in a bit. But let's take a look at the camera, which you can launch either by pressing the camera button or by launching the camera application. So this is Nokia's 8.7 megapixel PureView camera. Again, pretty much what you see on the Lumia 920 with incremental improvements and software updates. Good Carl Zeiss lens, f2.0, so it's quite fast. The sensor size is 1/3 of an inch, and it can focus pretty close to, and yes, it can shoot 1080p video. In terms of settings, right now we're looking at your basic Windows Phone application right here. So you've got ISO, you've got brightness, you've got aspect ratio, that kind of stuff. Nothing too fancy. It has autofocus. You can tap to focus, and you can see it uses the flash as a focusing light as well. Now, if you want to look at something more interesting, here we have Nokia's various lenses and also a couple of others like Bing Vision. Now we're going to use Nokia's Cinematograph right now, which sort of is a little bit like a Vine moment or the HTC Zoe. Of course, Nokia has their own thing that they came up with. I tested out with our little boat toy, which I've wound up, so hopefully we can get it moving a little bit, maybe. And we're just going to choose the focus points now, which obviously would be that one in this case. And here we have our strange spinning bath toy. And for something more interesting, we have some cat animations here. And you have to use the Cinematograph app to actually play it. So there's our little cat seeming to move on the chair, even though it's sort of like you're just taking a still shot, obviously an extended time-lapse still shot. So that's what it does. Sort of like looking at the newspaper in Hogwarts, isn't it? And there are other lenses too. Obviously, one of the more useful ones would be a panorama, for example, if you want to shoot a panorama as well. And we have Nokia Smart Cam, which is their version of taking action shots. If you need to take 10 shots in a row, say you're covering a basketball game or something like that, that's the application you would use. It's burst mode, basically. And Nokia's Creative Studio is also on board for photo editing. So how are the photographs that this takes? The photographs are lovely. As always, this is one of the nicer cameras, does very well in low light. If you're into photography, you're going to enjoy this phone. It may not be as good as the Lumia 1020, which of course costs even more money and is on a different carrier, AT&T, that guy right here. but it takes pretty nice shots, and it's also, the Lumia 925 of course is a lot thinner and lighter than the Lumia 1020. And now we'll check out web browsing with IE10 Mobile, and you can see the on-screen keyboard pretty much the same that we've seen on Windows phones for some time, and it's one of the better keyboards. It's actually quite responsive to touch, and I find I don't make many mispresses, even though by today's standards a 4.5-inch screen is not that huge. So we'll visit our own website, Mobile Tech Review, and this is the full desktop site. You can see how quickly it loaded over at T-Mobile's 4G LTE network. Ads and everything. Looks great. Nice sharp text. 334 ppi pixel density there, so you're looking at a very sharp screen. No obvious color cast there, not too pink, not too blue. Looks good. And we'll check out video playback, streaming video playback, and look at our video review of the Nokia Lumia 1020 with its wonderful 41 megapixel camera. Your Windows Phone automatically full screen so you don't have to fiddle with any controls. And now we're at 20 out of 30 on the volume level. This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at a pretty special phone. This is the Nokia Lumia 1020. Well, it's a lot like the Nokia Lumia 920 in some ways. That part's not so. Plays fine, looks good. Sounds like your average speaker when it comes to cell phone speakers, but certainly a fine experience. Still impressed with T-Mobile's LTE. And of course, because this is a Windows phone, you get pretty nice music and video player here, the Music and Video's Xbox player. So you can sideload your own music if you want. You can even sync to your iTunes collection, or you can avail yourself of Microsoft's streaming service for music, and you can load your own videos on here. And it has an FM radio as well. And you'll have to use headphones with it, wired headphones, because those will act as the antenna. So lastly, we'll take a look at gaming. We've got Xbox Live Gaming on here, so we're going to check out some titles. And now we're going to test out gaming by playing Dread vs. Zombies. Long live the zombie games. One nice thing about the Windows App Store for games, most games you can try them first before you buy them to make sure you like them and if they work well on your phone.
This is Justice Department property, and I'm taking it back. I've got a bad feeling about this.
And nothing like a little wholesome zombie blood. Controls work fine, it's very responsive. Graphics are keeping up, frame rate's great, so it's certainly playing smoothly enough. Nothing like a fast phone to make quick work of killing zombies. So that's gaming on the Nokia Lumia 925. It looks good to me. As we've come to expect from Nokia phones over the years, call quality is excellent for both incoming and outgoing voice. Volume is adequate, average I would say among today's smartphones, but quality, crisp, clear, good. And here's your easy on-screen dialer. There's also quick access to your contacts and to your call history as well on the phone. So how about battery life? Got a pretty fast smartphone, but it's not a quad core, and the display resolution is a very manageable 720p. So how's battery life? Battery is sealed inside 2,000 milliamps, and it makes it through the day on a charge, on a full charge that is, with about 15% battery left by end of day. That is going from 7 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night, and that's with LTE on and active. If you're not in an LTE area, you'll probably get better battery mileage, so to speak. If you use streaming video a lot, or you play a lot of games, you'll probably get shorter battery life. But generally speaking, we didn't have trouble making it through a day, but we did not get a day and a half out of it. So that's the Lumia 925 made by Nokia, available on T-Mobile. And certainly if you're looking for a Windows phone or just a high-end smartphone and maybe you find Android a little too complex, the iPhone, you've been there, done that, want a bigger display, well, this is certainly worth a look. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Visit our website for the full review of the Lumia 925, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.